Welcome to the day 5 of 21-day Equinox challenge. Today I planned to introduce controlled articular rotation or CARs for the wrist, and also to add some exercises to build more awareness on the scapula movement. So we're going to start for the wrist, and I will show you how to use the block. If you don't have a block, it could be box, and the length of the width of your shoulders. And of course, if you don't have anything handy, you can just use without the box. You're going to have just a bit of a less control of your forearms. So we're going to be placing the block between the forearms. That will allow us to hold the forearms shoulder width apart. And you're pressing the block with the forearms, having the thumbs facing each other. So like that. Okay, and here, the first one, you can be on your knees. You can be seated as well. We're going to just flex the palms and extend. So lifting the palms up and pressing them down. And at the same time, you're slightly pressing the block. So going maybe 3-4 times. Keeping all fingers straight. So when you come down, don't bend your fingers. You keep them straight. And now here, maintain your wrist straight, and let's move the wrist from side to side. Lateral rotation. And at the same time, you're pressing the forearm. So if you're using the block, yes, you understand that with a block, you're keeping your forearm in a fixed position, and it's a really isolated move for the wrist. And the next one, we're going to just go into the circular movement, one direction and the other direction. Try to go as slow as possible, going into flex position, lateral to the right, dropping fingers down, lateral to the left, up, opposite, lateral to the left, extended, right, flexed. One more time. And let's release. So shake your arms, shake your shoulders. Next one will come into tabletop position. So in a tabletop position, I want to also address the position of your fingers, as if you're practicing yoga or even you just go to the fitness classes and you're practicing a lot of planks, you would like to have your palms placed firmly to the mat, spreading the fingers and having your middle finger straight forward, pressing the knuckle of the index finger and the thumb. Ideally, you're stretching the thumb. And here we're gonna move the shoulders forward and release. So what we're doing, we are now loading the wrist with a bit of the body weight. Depending on what is the strength of your wrist, what is level of comfort, you can go all the way like you go into the supported kneeling plank and go back. And you can adjust where the hands are and move even further forward. So having a bit of the load here. And if you have some issues with the wrist, or just in a general, you never exercise the wrist flexion, that might be at first a bit challenging, but it definitely will benefit you, especially if you, as I told, practicing yoga or go into strength classes. Let's now change the position of the palms. We're gonna take the fingers facing one and the other. So just turning the elbows out, maintaining the elbows straight. You can at this time take your knees a little bit apart, and we're gonna just move the shoulders from side to side. So also the wrist flexion, but this time we just have a bit of a different direction. So check how that feels, and yes, you can go for like a minute here, depend, and we will now change the position, turning the palms out. So having the base of the palms together, fingers out, and we're going to start with a distance of a shoulder width. And as you can sense, we're going to go from side to side to start with. So all what we do again, a flexion of the wrist, but with a different angle. And then you can experiment by bringing palms, base of the palms closer and go from side to side. And then some of you maybe want to experiment and bring the forearms completely closed. You're going to find that here there's a more restriction. So yeah, play with this. Find the optimal distance between the wrist to practice. And then let us just shake the wrist, shake the shoulders, forearms, and we're going to make a fist now, really strong fist, and then we're going to stretch the fingers. And then we're going to do it again and again, and then we're going to go fast, as strong fist, as strong stretch as you can for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. You definitely feel that your wrist worked, your forearm muscles worked. Just shake your arms, and let us come to the shoulder routine that will start just first with the shoulder circles, and try not to rush. Think of the pace of the cars where we want to go through the full range. So lifting, going backwards, squeezing the shoulder blades down, moving forward. Let's change the direction. And I'm inviting you not just think of your top of the shoulder moving, but try to connect to the scapular movement. So squeeze, lift, come forward, down. Squeeze, lift, come forward, down. Okay, and here is the one that very often quite challenging for the practitioners that don't have a great awareness of the scapular movement. So we're going to bring the arms in front, and we can flex the palms. If this is too much for you, you can hold the wrist straight as well. So look forward, relax your shoulders down, think of a scapula coming down, and then squeeze, and then like someone is pulling your arm forward, hug yourself. So let the scapula to come forward. So that calls protraction and retraction. So retraction is together, protraction is moving forward. And as you move, you're not moving through the waist area. You're only activating the shoulder blade and all the muscles that are supporting and moving the blade here. So control the trapezius. If you're not sure, you can have the other hand on the top of the shoulder and try to think of just the movement of the arm starting from upper back. Okay, shake your arms. Now we're gonna try to go the elevation and depression of scapula. I'm gonna be turning with my back and see if you can observe the movement. So we're gonna lift the shoulder blades up like you want to shrug your shoulders, and then we're gonna try to move the scapula down. And then again lift, and then try to move the scapula down. So go here as many times as it feels benefiting you. And when we're lifting the arms, if we have some limitation in the shoulders, we're very often extending through the lower back. So try to be as neutral as possible. If you're not comfortable to sit on the knees, you can do this movement in standing or just kneeling position. Lift and drop. When you drop and it feels like you're making your upper back wider, then let us incorporate this movement, this new awareness of the shoulder and scapular movement into our tabletop position. So come into tabletop position, and you can observe me first. We're going to keep the neck neutral. We're going to just drop the chest down without back bending here, just to squeeze the scapula, so our retraction, and then press and puff the space up into protraction. So we're only moving the spine between between those bones of the arm, and we're feeling how their scapula moves here. So very similar to what we did without the body weight, with the arms parallel to the floor. It might take you a while to master that. If you're not sure if you're doing this correct, you can bring the block in between the shoulder blades, and when you protract, you feel like you're pressing into the block, and when you retract, you have some space between the block and the body. So just moving it here a couple of times. Okay, great. And if you master that, we will now try to come into the plank. So spread your fingers comfortably, and before you're going to go into plank, I want you to press the floor. You want to protract the scapula, maintain neck parallel, engage the abdomen. We're going to extend one leg and immediately extend the glute and slightly tug the tailbone under, and then you extend the other leg and you hold here, pushing the floor and feeling the legs helping you. You're feeling that your abdomen muscles and the glutes helping you to stabilize your pelvis. Hold here, neck is neutral, don't drop your head. Keep the head here. And let's drop the knees down to the floor. Get the stretch of your wrist. We have 2 more of the planks to hold. So when you're ready, come here. And as you go into the plank, that's where the mobility of your wrist come in focus. You don't want to have your shoulders too far back. You want to have your shoulders above the wrist. You also don't want to have your arms wide like that. You want to have your hands exactly under the shoulders. So when you're ready, start pressing the floor. So stabilize your shoulder blade, and then let's extend one leg. Immediately engage your lower abdomen glute. Extend the other leg. Think of pressing the hamstrings up toward the ceiling. Hold. Keep your normal breath. Hold. Hold. Hold, and drop the knees. Let's rest. And in between the sets, you're welcome to have a bit of the wrist circles, and let's do it one more time. So finding your hands on the floor, spread your fingers, align the shoulders, find the proper flexion of your wrist, maintain neck neutral, press the floor, stabilize the shoulders, stabilize the scapula, and then extend one leg, and then extend the other leg, squeeze the glutes, hold, 4 or 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and step the knees down. Exhale, let's shake the arms, have a couple of shoulder circles. And that's what we eat for the day 5. Thank you.